Hello, my name is Lavera. I have an online presence name or screen name, Cindy. That's CXINDI. I would like to just share a few things with my audience. I am now 39. I am a believer. And I often say I'm not religious, I'm more or less spiritual. I'm a believer. I believe in what I've been taught. The things that matter the most to, I believe, my growth as an individual, a human, a mother, a wife, and as a person. Enrichment in personal investment or in our personal selves is priceless. Often people discount this. I feel that our spiritual lives are who we are. If we do not feed our spirit the same as we feed our bodies, or take care of our spirits the way we take care of our natural things, there may be some hiccups in the road, such as anger, hatred, misunderstandings, strife, all of the things that the Bible names as sins, or let's see, the fruits of the flesh. Now, this is not important to a lot of people, but I would love to bring attention to it. I'll start out by telling you a little bit about myself. At a very early age, if not from the womb, I've always been in some type of service. I'm grateful that I'm not confused with a lot of different family histories of religion or church or faith, faiths. But it's all good. It's good to have some foundation, I assume, rather than none. And genuinity never hurts. If you're sincere, I truly believe God will definitely lead you into the right path or way of believing. Now, we all have our opinions, our beliefs, our system of striving. I hate the word surviving. I'll say striving. We all strive for greatness and comfort. But in the same token, it's awesome when we have God in the name of His Son Jesus. I say this because I found that from later times in my life, not just the earlier years, the Bible is good for me. I can't speak for anyone else but myself. I've learned that scriptures, even music, doesn't matter what it sounds like, it's what it says and what my spirit receives. I found that this is very helpful in everyday life. With this everyday life, I realized that there's going to be strife, there's going to be heresies, there's going to be situations that we normally cannot just handle on our own. But when you have a foundation or even faith, you can always trust that in believing and trusting and even seeking God's way or His word for different scenarios, you will most likely be successful. It doesn't mean because you were fired from a job or someone disliked you or divorced you or didn't take heed to you or take a liking. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you or God is not in the plan. Sometimes God does what we don't expect. So our job is to be sincere in our endeavors. He loves a pure heart. Now, I'm going to be a little controversial with this. There are people that genuinely are sincere when they are cursing you out. Are they sincere? He said a sincere heart. Maybe they're not in the right place, but they are genuine. They're truly frustrated, and they expressed it. So do not be surprised if you get to the gate and you're turned away, and that same person you judged in the words that they used, not taking heed to the words you used, they're there and you're not. I think about that very often. It happens. However, or it may happen. However, more about me. I definitely learned in my most impressionable years that God is real. Not only is he so real, but he is a battler. He's a battle axe. He is a waymaker. When I say this, what I mean is there have been times where groups would literally come against me for whatever reason. I get this generally a lot. And it could be anything, but my belief is people by nature are interesting. They just are. And you have to accept that. And in being interesting, they tend to want to find the weaker person in the group or the unsuspecting victim. Generally, because I'm pretty sincere and simple, I think that would be me. That's just me. And in thinking so, I tend to find myself in situations that are not pleasant, such as groups speaking clearly in my direction with hatred. Not sure why, but it happens. When I respond, oh, alert, alert, we have someone that is violent, or someone that is speaking back. Let's definitely make her look like she's unstable. This is a very interesting, very often to happen scenario. I don't understand why, but I've been in several groups or settings where people would literally, in my face, begin to make comments about things. Now, I ignore it, but it's fascinating that it happens very often. So I will assume that these people are generally sinful by nature and I hate to say like a pack of wolves, but very, very fascinating. So I've learned through a lot of situations that not only is God a battle axe, but he will fight the battle to the point where Goliath literally falls. Now you hate to think about the demise of a person, but just think. In the Bible, Goliath chose to come against David. And now this was all orchestrated by God to prove who he was. So, in this battle, Aaron may never acknowledge this. It may not be written that Aaron was a worshiper after this battle. But I have to say, there's been several scenarios where God literally killed the enemy. Literally. I don't mean physically in nature. They're dead. But they're really not striving because their nature was dead from the get-go. And it's really sad, but it's either you or them. Thank God he's for us. You hate to think of battles, but they're what they are. There's spiritual battles, there's warfares, there's all kinds of things that happen in the spiritual realm that only God can resolve. He can use us if we're open, but generally, God works it out. I can give you so many scenarios, but I want to respect people that things have happened in their lives. But God truly, truly, truly fights battles. If you ever want to know more, you feel free to contact me at Facebook or coming to a place near you soon. You'll be able to see me and I will testify of some of this. However, I learned that God is real, that he's a fighter, a battle axe, that he's a lover, he's a comforter. I remember at one point I felt that I had a broken heart and I wanted to kind of lean towards the fact that this person didn't. The real truth is sometimes our parents break our hearts. There's things that transpire that no one can help us recover, or we don't know where to go because we would assume that parents are the ones that we run to when we have issues, or when we run to when our heart is broken. But when they break your heart, this is a different level of spirituality. This is a different level of deliverance to me. You can't consult those that you feel that should love you. You can't address the pain with them. Oh, mom, oh, dad, my heart is so broken. What do? They're the perpetrators in some cases, and it's really sad. But God is still yet a deliverer. So when the symptom of your heartbreak is that you meet someone and they're not quite where they can be or should be, or don't disclose things to you, then maybe as a young person you should know, or they should protect you. God is so real, I guess they're mocking God. Oh, he's so real, he should have told you about that. Or you should have been aware that I was just emotionally letting you lean on me and I snatched back and you fell. Ha ha ha, you should have known, you're so spiritual, you're such a prophet. Whatever the case, God is a deliverer. He is a lover. He's a healer. Whatever the symptom may be, whatever the actual ailment may be, God can heal your spirit. He can heal your heart. He can heal your finances, your family. He can heal you. Not just diseases. Often people think of diseases and eyesight and all that. That's great. It's really wonderful. But what about the broken heart? What about the disappointed, depressed soul? What about the suicidal? We've seen messages in the Bible, but they're not often preached. God is also able to heal your spiritual stuff, your broken heart, your wounded spirit from a church that just really kind of twisted you a bit. It was just a perversion. There was a level of love, but it wasn't agape. Well, God is still yet on the throne. And still yet, I believe that no matter what your issue is today, He's real. So that's just a pinch of what I really wanted to say. I don't want to hold you too long. But just know in this new year, there's nothing that can truly stop us from succeeding. There is no one person that can truly hinder us from where we're really going and what's really for us. Because guess what? God is in control. And as long as you believe, seek, and know that He's real, there's no stopping you. I hate to think just because it's a new year that this should be a message or this should be something I like to say to you. I like to do this year round, every year, before the year is out, before the year is in. But this is a new year for me. This is a year or a time where I'm actually going to pursue my praise to who God is, my worship to who I know He is. In fact, right now, God, I thank You for how You have made me who I am. How You've placed me at this very present time to be who You made me. Who You've developed me to be. Not despite who likes me. Despite who doesn't want to see me succeed. Those are not my concerns, God. What is Your will for me this year? What is Your desire? Let me be that vessel. Show me Your direction, Your path, my authentic self, without the facades, without the showcase, just a pure, simple, clear me, transparent, translucent. I hope those are correct words, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. I have to share this. When I first had my second child, I sat at the edge of the bed and I thought about, again, those spiritual things that most people don't preach to. Your depression, your mental state. I mean, yes, keep your mind stayed on Jesus, but what about when several people die all at once and no one's there to really talk to you or to counsel you or to comfort you, and you have to find ways to pray, but you can't quite get the words out. You can think them, but you can't quite get the praise on. You can't quite get over that thing. Well, God is able. I sat at the edge of the bed breastfeeding, and I sat at the edge of the bed. I don't want to offend anyone or give too much information, but I was nursing and kept thinking, God, it has to be more to life. In fact, if you get me out of this deep depression, I will be ever, ever so grateful. I will never, ever go back. And I'm grateful that God has never put me in that place. No matter what happens, there is positivity, there's energy, there's grace to get through it. There's let's see, depression, optimism. There's optimism. There is, and it's not self-willed. It's just a really positive way to express the fact that no matter what, God is going to allow me to get through this. So what I need to do is pray and believe and allow Him to work this out. No need for me to take action, to be depressed, to be upset, to get discombobulated and distracted. God is in control. So with this confidence and the background that I grew up with, which is holiness, which is sanctification, which is faith, witnesses, all of these various elements of unadulterated gospel, I have total confidence that God will always bring me through, no matter what's going on. Another thing is, I guess April 2011, I prayed a prayer again. I'm like, God, this is not my authentic life. This is not where I should be. This is not what you have for me. I want to be in that place. Start taking things out that don't belong. Oh my God, not shortly after that. It's like immediately things began to change. Where I lived, the things I owned, the things that I possessed that I wanted to keep, people, things, stuff. I'm like, God, okay, there's a lot going on. Just help me keep the kids. Don't let them go anywhere. Because things were moving so quickly. People came in, people came out. People had been in, they were out. Things that I had loved and adored and wanted to drag around for the rest of my life, gone. That's okay. Because God is faithful. And I believe that when He does what He does, it's all in good effort to bring new things in. Shortly after that, we began to move around. Housing was interesting, still is. But God did what He does. He answered my prayer. That's not the first prayer, but we're focusing on this. And in that time, I began to see who was to be in my life and who wasn't. My destiny partners. People that were always there no matter what. They were always trying to help. They were always praying. They were always believing. They never faltered. And I still call them my destiny partners. These are people that I believe that, at least for this season and going forward, there for me. Always. Believing, praying, trusting, and holding me. And I do the same. I love it. So with all of that said, these are times where we have to trust, believe, and obey. And always seek God's will. Always, as much as possible, seek Him and praise and worship and believe and listen. It's good to just listen. Turn everything off. Even in your mind, that conversation, that thought. Remember, life is not a competition. It's actually a compliment to who God is. He created us to compliment Him, to serve Him, to worship Him, to be like Him, to obey. So let's let that light shine. There's a seed within us. It can go either way. We have to nurture them. That's why you feed your spirit. You want the good to grow and the bad to shrink or to be annihilated. But we must seek God and the Word. So with all of that, this is a new year. This is an awesome time. I'm trusting God that the next time you see me and we speak, I would have progressed. I will still be running this race. I will still be vigilant to the fact that there is a true and living, awesome God that does believe in recompense and vengeance on my behalf, that does believe in truth and honor and honesty, that does believe in grace and mercy and goodness. And He also believes in me. So I love you with the love of Jesus. I want you to be blessed, to believe and to know that we praise the Lord. Am I perfect? No. Do I use profanity periodic? Yes. Pray for me. This is not a desire of mine. I really feel that in my authentic self, God is working on me. And He's going to put me in a place where I can be all that I can and should be. But in this trial, pray for me. In this test, in this time, I need you to be a partner with me and to believe God and to trust in what He's invested in me so that I can invest back to you. So if you have any questions, comments, or criticisms, or need anything, let me pray with you. Let me stand with you. Let me hear from you. You can contact me at YouTube under Lavera Johnson, or you can go to Facebook at Lavera Johnson. I also have Twitter under Neeja, or Neeja. But whatever you decide, keep me in your prayers. And until next time, praise the Lord. We can all do that, right? Let's do it together. Bye now.